Would you like to be able to take 7 paper clips and then turn them into 10? Or even turn a green apple into a red apple? Or show off your skills with a pack of playing cards to perform a very tricky trick, all using the deeper secret of an invisible force that we use every single day. Want to find out how? Then keep watching. Hi, my name's Kevin Quantum. I'm a magician-scientist hybrid, and today we're going to learn 3 magic tricks that wouldn't work without an invisible pulling force that follows us wherever we go on the surface of the Earth. This force is called gravity. So for this next trick, you will need a book with a spine like I have just here. You'll need 10 paper clips. Mine's are multicolored, but yours can be the same color. And you will need a small tub to catch them in. And of course you need your hands to practice with. I found this book in a very old bookshop, and I found that whenever I open it, strange and magical things happen. Let me show you. Here I have in this box 7 different paper clips. Let me count them for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different paper clips. Now if you hold your hands out, and we'll use this box for the hands, and catch them all as I tip them into your hands, that's really good. There we go. And give them a shake. You'll find that when you drop them on the table and count them again, there is no longer 7 paper clips. But there is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 3 more, 8, 9, 10. 3 extra paper clips have magically appeared. How's it done? Let's find out. Okay, let's have a look at how this one's done. So first of all, you do need 10 paper clips to start with. And the reason that we have this old book is because of its spine. Now when you open it, you will also notice that the spine also opens. You see this big gaping hole that appears here? That is a secret trick to this, I guess, magic trick. You're going to take 3 paper clips and you're going to stick them into the spine. Push them in just so they go in a little bit. And then with your finger, push them in just as far as your finger will go in. So for me, that's about that distance there. And this is really important because you're going to place the other paper clips on the surface of this book at the same distance. The reason for that is that gravity is going to pull the paper clips and also the ones from here from the book into the spectator's hands, and they need to fall at the same time. And because they need to fall into the hands at the same time, they need to start at the same place. We'll come back to that in a moment. So when you close the book, they're now locked in position. They will not move from that position because the spine now comes up against the outside of the book. However, when you open it up, they loosen up. So when I open my book up and I take my 7 paper clips and count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I place them all in the book. I know the paper clips are in this position right here. So I then move all of those into that place just about there. They know there's 7, and I ask my assistant or my volunteer to hold their hands out like this. I then take the book, I keep it level, I don't tip it too early, and as I tip the paper clips into their hands, these ones and the ones inside the spine fall out at the same time, just like this. Now because you tip them at the same time, there's now 10 paper clips in there, by the way. You can count them. It probably looks really like that only the ones from the surface of the book fell, but there is now 10 there. Because you tip them from the surface of the book and gravity is what pulls them down, we all know that gravity pulls on different objects in exactly the same way. So the 3 ones that are hidden, gravity will pull them at the same rate that it pulls the 7 that are on the surface of the book, dragging them from the surface, from the spine and into the person's hands. Because they fall at the same speed at the same time into the hands, you never actually see them appear in the hands. It's a really fantastic trick. So do remember to practice it lots before you show anyone, just so you can make sure. Now here's an extra special top tip as well. When you pour them into the hands, the book and the hands will be good enough, but as you pour, line them up and then say, make sure you don't drop any. And as you say that line, that's when you tip them over. And when you say that, the person you're talking to, they will lift their head and look at you, and that will give you even more cover when you're trying to sneak those extra 3 paper clips into their hands. Okay, for this one, a magic trick using playing cards. In this instance, I'm going to take a pack of cards. I'm going to drop them from a height like this onto the table. But when they land, I will make one card flip over. In this instance, let's say the Ace of Diamonds. Are you ready? Here we go. The Ace of Diamonds. So how is this one done? Well, there is one sneaky magic move that I'm now going to teach you, and that is this with the Ace of Diamonds. Now, first of all, when I said let's choose, the Ace of Diamonds, I knew in advance which card I was going to use, and I had that on the top of the deck, just like I do just now. So that's the first thing you're going to do. The card that you want to flip over, you have on the top of your deck of cards or on the top of your pile of cards. And when you have them in your hands, I hold mine in my left hands. I'm right-handed, but my left hand is where the cards are most comfortable. What you're going to do is you're going to slide over the top card with your thumb till it's about halfway across, just like that. Let me show you that as well up this way. So you're going to slide over the top card alone, so it's halfway across, just like that. Once you've got that card halfway across, you're going to pinch the whole thing with the fingers in your other hand and then lift it to about a height of 30 or 40 centimeters, just like I'm doing just now, about that height there. I should say every pack of cards is different, so you will need to play around with how high it takes for you to drop them. So do experiment with that, and also how far across you push the card. So I'm going to go for 35-ish centimeters just now. That's about the length of a ruler and a little bit more. And as I drop them from this height, one card, that top card, should flip over, just like that. So one more quick demonstration. You hold the cards in your hand, slide the top one over as you cover it, then you lift the cards up to height. When you get to there, all you're going to do is quickly move your fingers out of the way. The cards all drop, but the top card, the one that you pushed over, in my case the Ace of Diamonds, flips over so everyone can see it. But there is a deeper secret as well, and that is the invisible force of gravity. Gravity is the force that pulls the cards down as they land on the table. However, as the cards are falling, another force pushes upwards, and that is air resistance. Air resistance is responsible for that top card flipping over in midair as it lands flat on the table. When the card is sticking out, the air resistance acts on this half of the card, pushing it so that it rotates in the air as the rest of the deck drops. But it doesn't act on this one because of the cards all stacked up. The air resistance doesn't have as much of a twisting effect on the rest of the pack as they fall completely flat. You can see this happen in the real world when you watch someone in a parachute. Gravity is pulling them down towards the earth. However, the parachute, when it expands, air pressure pushes up against the fabric of the parachute, slowing the descent of the person who's falling to earth. For this one, you need a tube and a green apple. Green apple in, green apple out. But this time, green apple in, red apple out. Alright, let's have a quick look at see how the fruit is set up inside of the tube itself. First of all, once you've got your tube made up, hold it in your left hand. If you're right-handed, it's probably slightly easier to do that. And pick up your biggest fruit. Mine is going to be one of the green apples. Pinch the tube about 1/3 from the bottom, and then let that slide in till it hits where that pinch is. And then make sure you've got that pinch fully in there. So that green apple is now in this position right here. I have a small egg carton which I'm going to use to catch the fruits when they fall through. Then take your red apple and then place that on top of the green one, just like that. So you're still pinching your green one here, but now your red one sits on top. Next, you're going to take your green apple and drop it into the tube. When you do, you're going to simultaneously let go of the green apple that's inside and then catch the red apple above it. That's going to look something a bit like this. So it feels like that's the same apple that went in, but in actual fact, the apple that went in is now on top of the red apple that you're pinching. So when you take the green apple and drop it in a second time, you're now going to let go of the red apple that you've got pinched here. And that's going to look a bit like this. One green apple turns into one red apple. It is tricky, it will take a bit of practice, but the more you practice, the easier it will get. And do it in front of a mirror or in front of a camera, so then you can see if you are accurately recreating the fall of gravity with your tube, which turns a green apple into a red apple. In this trick, you are trying to replicate the effect of gravity on an object, because we all naturally know how long it takes an object to fall from one place to another. If you ignore air resistance, gravity affects all objects in exactly the same way. In fact, there was a very famous experiment done on the moon, where there is no air, when a hammer and a feather were dropped from the same height at the same time onto the surface of the moon.
And I'll drop the two of them here, and hopefully they'll hit the ground at the same time. How about that?
Now, despite the weight of the hammer and the feather being very different, both of the objects landed at exactly the same time onto the surface of the moon. And this proved that gravity would have the same effect on any two objects, regardless of the weight of the object. I really hope you enjoyed learning some magic tricks, which after some practice you can go and show to your friends. But do remember that the fundamental force which makes all of these happen is that secret invisible force called gravity. Have fun. My name's Kevin Quantum. Bye.